are back with my next guest, and I really, really want you to pay attention to this story because he is amazing. Such an inspirational person who really turned around his life, and now he's paying it forward. We have a lot to learn from him. So his name is Silo Moses, and he is going to talk about how to go from a change giver to change maker in your community and business. So welcome back. Actually, I had you a couple months ago.
Yes.
And I wanted to have you back because you inspired me with your story. I wanted to dig deeper into your story because we need people like you in the world. We need people like you who can really take something happen, breaking you down, and now you're lifting people up because of it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you being on my show.
Thank you.
Coming back.
Thank you. That's such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your story. The people who didn't hear about your story, tell us what happened in your life.
So a few years ago, I was just your average kind of guy. I was working a full-time job, 5 days a week, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. I was working for a call center where I was a manager of a small team, and we were doing pretty good.
Life was good.
Life was good. Yeah, life was good. And at this time, though, I was sort of kind of living paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. For some reason, there just wasn't enough money. There was like more month than money
to save anything on the side.
To save anything on the side, yeah. But I was still okay. Like I still can maintain. And it got to the point where one day I walked into work and I had no idea. My manager pulled me into his office and literally said he had to let me go, and wasn't prepared for it at all. Had no idea why he was letting me go. My team was doing great. I was a great manager. We were making them, a good amount of money. We were hitting our goals, and he literally said he couldn't afford me anymore. And to me, that was a quick fix. It was, that's okay, just pay me less.
Yeah. I'm willing to take whatever right now.
Yeah, I'll do whatever, because by this time where he let me go, I was already 30 days behind in my rent, and I was already 60 days behind in my car payment. Mm-hmm. And I was just trying my best to catch up. I was doing whatever I could to catch up, trying to go for every bonus that was available, trying to make my team perform better so I could make more in commission, and nothing was working. So he said he couldn't let me stay. He said I couldn't do the pay cut. He said he just could not afford me and had to let me go.
Wow.
So I was there. I was stuck, and he did tell me one thing. He said, hey, listen, he's like, I'm going to, at the end of the week, come Friday, I'm going to give you a paycheck as if you worked this week, but you can't work. You have to go home today. You can't work this week, but I'll pay you like you did work this week on Friday.
That was nice of him. I mean, at least he did that.
Yeah,
okay.
At least he did that. And I thought, okay, I can deal with that. So I called my landlord and I said, hey, listen, I got let go today, but I have a check coming Friday, which means you have money coming for rent Friday. Mm-hmm. And he said, okay. And Friday came and I went to the office and I was the first one there. And as soon as I walked up to the building, there was a huge padlock on the door this big.
Oh my goodness.
So what happened was, what I found out was that the company and my boss that was there and couldn't afford to pay me, they couldn't afford to pay their own rent on the building.
Okay.
And the business got kicked out of the building.
Yeah.
So I didn't get paid that Friday. No one got paid that Friday. And went home, called my landlord, and I tried to explain to him what happened. I said, hey, listen, you're not going to believe this. The business that was supposed to give me my paycheck, they don't exist anymore. They're not there. And he says, well, do you have rent? And I said, well, no, but you don't understand. He said, do you have rent? I said, no. And he said, well, you have till Monday to get it or we're kicking you out.
And now you're like, okay, what am I going to do now?
Right.
Okay.
I had probably $25 in the bank. Mm-hmm. Rent was $9.50, and that didn't include any utilities or food, right? So I had 2 days to come up with $1,000. After I sold everything in my apartment, including the TV and couches, I came up with around maybe $400, $450. Come Monday, he said, "Do you have the rent?" I said, "No." He said, "You got 5 minutes to get out."
Wow. Which year that was?
Oh, this is middle of 2013.
Okay.
So,
2013. It's
yeah.
not like 2008. I was thinking maybe that time.
No,
where
no, but
everybody-
this was on the tail end of
on the
that.
tail- uh-huh.
Yeah,
the
because
last person you got it.
yeah, the recession lasted 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. So this was on the tail end of that. Yeah, and it was still kind of hurting.
So you didn't have family or friends in town?
No, I'm the only person. I have no friends. Well, I have no family in town. My closest family is in Austin, Texas.
So you're not from Vegas.
No.
You didn't have family in Vegas,
No.
and you don't have close friends. How long did you live in Vegas at that time?
I was 2 years, 3 years, but all I did was work.
Work.
Yeah, and that's it. And I had a serious girlfriend the entire time, and we didn't do much but stay home.
Okay.
So yeah.
So do you believe something's happened for a reason?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and that pushed you to go in where? Tell
Yeah.
us now.
So that Monday morning, constable came, landlord came, said you got 5 minutes. Anything you could put on your back is yours, but everything else is going in the trash, and you got to leave. And they're talking about my stuff like it's trash, like the stuff I didn't sell or couldn't sell, right? And so I grabbed a duffel bag, I threw 2 pair of pants and a shirt in it, and then that's all the time I had. They came rushing in, they threw me out of my apartment, my condo, and that was day 1 of homelessness.
So you started, where did you go to sleep? And the first day, I mean, that's a different life.
Yeah.
What you were thinking, and where did you go the first day?
I had no idea where to go. I literally went back to the building I worked at. I didn't know where to go. So
Okay.
I walked back to the building that fired me that Monday.
But they were
And
closed,
They were closed, but they had an underground parking lot.
so you stayed in the
So
underground.
I stayed there because I knew it was secure. It would keep, at least I had a roof over my head, right? And like no one would mess with me if I found a nice little corner
Which
somewhere.
month? It was winter, summer?
It was going into fall of 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're looking at July.
And what happened from there?
So from there, I just kind of wandered. I didn't know what to do. It's not like, when you're home and everything's comfortable, you're Googling, well, let me see what I would do if I go homeless, right? So it's kind of,
Let me find my way.
yeah, let me see what would be my plan if I went homeless. Like, so I had nothing to do. So I literally just wandered. And then I ended up wandering back to Rainbow in 95, which is where I remained until I got back on my feet.
So now we're going to talk about your experience
Yeah.
of what happened after that. How did you find a place to eat, and where
Yeah.
did you sleep, and what you had to go through,
Yeah.
and all the 9 years, and then we're going to give them the lessons
Yeah.
on how you turned around, okay?
Awesome, yeah.
So prepare for that.
Okay.
And when we come back, you're going to hear more into the story and what he learned throughout his journey. So we'll be right back.
Snap-on dentures will change your life. And at Smiles Today Dental, we now offer the lowest price in town. Mini dental implants can stabilize your loose dentures permanently. Call Smiles Today Dental for a free consultation.
Friendly Ford's 2018 summer closeout event starts now. Yes.
Yes.
Yes to the best selection.
Yes.
Yes to free registration. Yes. Friendly Ford, Decatur and US 95.
Pay less and get more. Friendly Ford, you get more.
And we are back with Silo, and he's sharing with us what happened after he became homeless, what he went through. So, the first night you went back to work where you were working, and you slept there, and the next day, what happened from there?
So I literally just walked, I walked and found my way up to like Rainbow and 95 area. And I can't tell you why I thought this. I just had this feeling in my gut that was, I wanted to be in the opposite area of wherever there was anyone else that was homeless. I didn't want to know anything about that. I didn't want to, like, if I knew where I can get food on a Thursday, soup on a Saturday, a bed on Friday, and if I got comfortable with the system, and if I knew where to get those things, and gosh forbid I would have made a friend, I probably would have still been homeless today. But there was something inside of me that was just like, wherever you see someone who is homeless, less fortunate, go the other direction. Don't even hang out with them. Don't talk to them. Nothing. So everyone who was less fortunate was down by Las Vegas Boulevard. So I knew the last place I wanted to go was near
It's there.
Right. So I went north as much as I could, or as far as my feet could take me until they started to hurt. And that's how I
Okay.
ended up by Rainbow in 95.
And how did you find your way? What did you eat? Take shower? What happened? How many
Yeah.
days
Wow. So
until you gave in to go somewhere?
yeah, it was, the best way to put it is like I literally became an animal. That's
Wow, that's hard to swallow.
That's the
Okay, so-
best thing. Like, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, I literally became an animal. Like, I scavenged for food, ate food at wherever I could find it, garbage cans, dumpsters. If people dropped something on the ground, I'd wait for them to walk away, and then I'd quickly like catch up to whatever they dropped on the floor. And
Did you ask for money? Did you
no.
hold that? No.
No, I at this time I was in an area where there were still payphones, so I would check payphones for change. I would check vending machines for change. One of the things that I did was I would hang out at like mall areas, or I'd hang out at like grocery store areas, and then I would just kind of watch the parking lot. And my ears at this time were so in tune. And I would just watch, and I would watch for people that drive in with
Like
sports
hunting,
cars.
yeah?
Yeah, like hunting, right? And I would just watch, and I'd wait for people who drive in like two-door sports cars, and I would just wait and I would listen, because sports cars are really low, and when you get out, what happens usually, if you have any change in your pocket, it usually falls
Drop,
out,
okay.
and it hits the ground.
So you start to be creative.
Yeah, started to be
Thinking.
creative.
Creative to survive.
Yeah.
So, but by that time, where did you take a shower? What happened?
No
then?
shower. I didn't shower for months, 7 months, 6 months.
What?
If I had an opportunity to, I would go into an unlocked bathroom and maybe use their paper towels. That's more like cardboard, and their hand lotion soap, and maybe kind of do this and this, but no showers.
Didn't have that.
No, my beard was growing out to here. I was just a ratty mess. I was.
So when you tried to sell your furniture, you sold some of it.
Yeah.
Not all of it. You did get some money from there.
Yeah.
Did you have a little bit money at least to buy food for a couple of days, or?
A little bit of money. So the day that I told you that I was with a girlfriend, we were together for a while, for a couple of years. So her and I were together for 3 years. We both were evicted out of the condo that day. We were living together in the same condo. At that time, a majority of the reason why I started to fall behind working paycheck to paycheck is because we had just had my son. And
Okay.
he was, by the time he and I were separated, he was 6 months to a year old. So when a baby's born, you're really not prepared for
Is
how
that
much
from
diapers.
the same girlfriend?
Same girlfriend, yeah.
You were living together,
Yeah.
okay. So she took the baby.
She took the baby and the cash. So I literally kept $20. I said, here's the rest. I said, I've absolutely failed you as a human being and a man and a boyfriend and a father. I can't offer you anything. Just take it and go. So I gave her the money, and I gave her the car keys to the car that we still had, luckily. That was even 60 days behind on a car
Yeah.
payment, but we still had it. I said, just go. I was like,
Take this one. And,
just take it, yeah.
and that's your son is with her. How old your son?
Today,
That time?
at that time, 1 year,
1 year. Wow, that must be very hard for you.
yeah.
Oof. Okay, so knowing that your son with his mom, not knowing what she's doing, how she's surviving to raise the baby, and you're in the street of Las Vegas with the beard, not taking a shower for 6 months, not eating right, and all that. Did you try to connect with your family and call somebody, even if they're not here, to send you a ticket to go back to?
Yeah, it's a great question. So before I give you the answer, 7 months, right? on the streets, beards out to here, hair is a mess. I'm wearing the same clothes. They're ripped, torn, dirty. I'm sure I don't smell too good. No shower. I had my cell phone on me though, and my cell phone, during this time I never paid the bill. My cell phone stayed on.
Something was helping you somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never paid the bill. It stayed on for 7 months. Today, if I don't pay, it gets shut off at midnight.
So what happened? Yeah, but what
So-
happened? Did you connect with your family?
I called my mom. Eventually, that was rock bottom. I called my mom and I told her, you know, that I was homeless and I was eating out of garbage cans, sleeping behind dumpsters, you know, and I expected her to say, you know, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to buy you a plane ticket. I'm going to fly you back to Jersey.
At least come back, yeah.
Yeah, you can sleep in your old bedroom. I'll make you chicken soup, whatever that conversation is, right? And she didn't say that. Instead, she said, why don't you go to a shelter? So
That was disappointing.
that was incredibly
Heartbroken.
disappointing, yeah. So at that point, you know, I hung up on her, and at that point, everything changed because I knew I had a decision to make. I knew no one was coming to
It's
save
you're
me.
the only one. Either you're gonna, I say life either breaks you or makes you.
Yeah,
So you made that choice. That's the only time you could switch your life around is
Yeah.
by making those choices.
yeah.
And you turned around, and how did you get to the point where you turned your life around? What really got you there? We don't have too much time, but we can go pretty fast. And your story is fascinating. Really quick, what happened? How did that turned around?
So after I made that decision that I was going to get back on my feet, now I hung up with my mom, and I cannot explain it to you other than this. As soon as I hung up with her and I knew I had a decision to make, it was either A, you're going to live like this forever, or B, now is the time to make a decision and do something about it. And as soon as I said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get out of this, I'm better than this, I'm better than my circumstances, I'm going to do this, I felt this incredible fire come up from the bottom of my feet, up over my calves, up over my
Wow.
knees, up through my shoulders and out through the top of my head, and it was like that fire of
The switched around.
it switched. That
Okay.
switched just like that. And
So what happened? What happened here? I believe it happened for a reason to be pushed
Yeah.
to that point,
Yep.
to really have. So you start to have more direction.
yeah, I started to think clearly. I just started doing things differently. And as soon as I hung up with my mom, the very next call I made was to a friend of mine by the name of Eric. I can't tell you why I called him. There was just this voice in the back of my head that just said, call Eric. And like, I'm having a fight with myself. I'm going, why am I going to call Eric? It was like, call Eric. I was like, no, why am I going to call? So I don't know why, but I just called him. And he was my very first boss I had in Las Vegas when I first moved here. Very first
Okay.
job. Haven't spoken to him in years. And I call him up. Luckily, his phone number is exactly the same. He answers. I tell him my story. He goes, don't worry about it. I'm coming down with a sandwich and we're going to figure this out.
So your mom did you a favor.
Yeah.
If she took you in, you wouldn't have that
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wouldn't be where you are today.
Right.
And where you are today, you're helping other homeless
Yeah.
to find their inner voice, to get them up and give them hope. Some of them are completely broken.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing now?
Yep. Yep. So today, yeah, we're going right back into homelessness, but this time I'm going back from a different stance, from a different place in life.
Different light.
A different light, exactly. And yeah, so I started an organization that's been a movement, and it's I started with a single pot of spaghetti, and today here we are a few years later. We've got over 105 volunteers, and we've served 97,000 meals in the
Did
valley.
you hear that? 97,000
Yes. Meals,
meals.
yeah,
That is amazing.
all for free. So
So for fish, you just feeding them, or you are educating them at the same time?
yes, so our mission is to go out and serve everyone, but we don't necessarily serve everyone, right? So we're there to serve them up to the point when they're ready.
Yes.
When they're ready to get off the streets, when they've made that decision that I had to make,
Then you hold them and say,
Yes.
okay, I could take you from here
Yes.
to where you need to. You could be the light for the bridge.
Yes,
Because
the
now you
bridge.
understand being homeless, and you want them to get to the point that they want to reach that voice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and then we're there for them until they're ready. And if they're not ready, that's okay. We're still there to serve them.
Well, we don't have too much time. We're going to teach them some things, but I think your story, it's already a lesson in itself. And they could reach out to you to help you on your mission.
Yes.
People can help you in different ways. I help you to get your voice out, right?
Yes.
And then other people, maybe they can help with, in different direction to help the people who are at the place they need someone to hold them and take them to a higher level, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So where they can get hold of you, I want you to look at that camera right there and tell them to come over and help you out with your
Awesome.
mission.
Well, if you'd like to come down and serve with us, you can. If you'd like to volunteer in some way, whether it's just a few hours a week or a weekend, or maybe it's 5 days a week, because now we do what we do 5 days a week, feel free to send me an email at servinghopelv@gmail.com. You can always look for me on Facebook at Silo Moses, SILOHMOSES. And that's about it. You can follow our hashtags. You can find our hashtags on Facebook as well. Give Forward Mondays, Give Back Mondays, and Food First Fridays. Those are all hashtags that you can search to keep up to everything that we do in the community.
And something else they can do. If you're watching this show right now, we encourage you to share it with others.
Yep.
Share this inspirational story. See how you can help your community by not judging the homeless and what got them to be homeless. Maybe they just need a little bit of help, and they need someone like yourself to help. So share this story with others, with your friends, with families. That's how you could help as well. You never know who wants to step in and be helpful and delivering that beautiful message that hope you're giving to others.
Oh, one more thing. Can I say something?
Sure.
So if they don't live in Las Vegas, but they would love to participate in some
Start.
way, yes, or yes, if they like to start their own kind of mission in their own
different
city and
city.
state, they can feel free to send me
There
an
you go.
email as well. If they want to support our cause in a way, they can always get my book.
Yes.
And that helps as well. So it's on Amazon right now. They can get a hard copy on Amazon. It's Better Than This by M. Hollis, which is simply my pen name, but it's Silo M backwards. So they can go on Amazon and get a copy. I also have
that will help support your mission.
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing a give back campaign with our book. So if they
Nice.
buy in bulk, say they buy 10 or more copies, we give a copy away for we match it.
Amazing.
And we give a copy away to someone who can't afford it.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, sharing your story, and really paying it forward, living for the sake of others. That's what we say. And I'm involved with the Women's Federation for World Peace, and we live for the sake of others. That's the mission we have. So appreciate you so much. Love to have you again.
Thank you.
Okay, sometime soon.
We never have enough time.
Yeah,
ever.
I know, but one day we'll have full segment just for
Yeah.
you. And for all of you who's watching, I encourage you to share this segment. And until next time, stay focused on your mission.